Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com with Finster in the background. Hi, Finster. Okay, I know. There you go. There she goes. Yes, did she go? She went. Yes, there's that. Now it's just a rock there. Okay, she'll go trolling by at some point or another. Now she's in the other window. Okay, here we are with random reviews from the Overflow room and our 14th Ravel video. It's unbelievable. I think there's two more. Two more we should be done with Ravel. So let's look at our clump du jour here of Ravel stuffies. Here we go. Yes, today's Ravel clump, and first release ever on Essential Classics, orchestral works of Ravel, Debussy, and Satie with the Cleveland Orchestra conducted by Louis Lane. Well, isn't it nice to have Louis Lane doing this first ever? Now there's a Louis Lane box that we just talked about on Sony, right? When was this released? Just out of curiosity. Because it was the first release ever, originally released, 1963 and 66, 1997. All right, so in 97, these things showed up in a first ever release, and then they all came back in a box. So we've got the Petite Suite by Debussy, Ravel's Introduction and Allegro, Satie's Gymnopédies 1 and 3, orchestrated by Debussy, and then the Ravel Mother Goose Suite, with the Philharmonia and Michael Tilson Thomas, the Pavane with George Sell, and La Valse with Ormandy. It's actually quite a nice collection, sort of a grab bag hodgepodge thing, but that was nice. And even back in 97 or whenever it was, having Louis Lane, did anybody care? I mean, people who were aficionados of like Cleveland in that era cared, because he was a very, very good conductor, but that was a selling point, they thought. Anyway, what's this stuff? This is Philips. This is the Concertgebouw in Haitink. This was one of these Universal Classics budgie things on the Universal label. Look at that. They say Philips. They say Philips here on the back. See, there's Philips right there. It's Philips, but of course now it's Decca because it's no longer Philips. But at some point, Universal had its own, a series of full-length albums featuring world-class performances from the artist rosters of Deutsche Grammophon, Decca, and Philips labels. Boy, do you think, well, they should have done that at the very beginning, shouldn't they? Have just slammed them all together and started issuing them sensibly. But this was one of those passing fancies in the major label universe. So these are the Haitink recordings of Bolero, Alborada del Gracioso, Rhapsody Espagnole, La Valse, Pavane for a Den Princess, and a glorious Le Tombeau de Couperin with amazing woodwind playing. And it's a gorgeous disc, 74 minutes and 51 seconds of first-class Ravel, which was also reissued as a twofer with more stuff, with Mother Goose and some other goodies that he did as well. Then we've got Désiré Émile Inghelbrecht. Yes, he was known as a FOD, F-O-D, a friend of Debussy particularly. But of course he did the complete Daphnis and Chloe in 1954, and the Mother Goose Suite with the chorus and orchestra, Chœur et Orchestre National de la Radiodiffusion Française. This is on Testament. It's a Testament mono release, and I collected Inghelbrecht, all the stuff that he did because he was there. He was one of those guys. He was there at the time, and so it was valuable to have him. And now we have, look at this, yes, as a trio, a 3 CD set, the Abbado Ravel recordings, which are first rate. Some of the best things he did with the London Symphony. Now, the only issue with this is the Daphnis. It's a very fine performance of Daphnis. It's just that these recordings straddled the digital era. And as a result, some of these things suffered from a little bit of early digital glassiness, or in this case, a certain lack of substance, lack of tactile, presence in pianissimo passages. I mean, you can't even hear the opening of Daphnis. That was really the problem with it. But the performances themselves are absolutely first rate. They're beautiful. Beautiful and exciting. And yes, Gramophone writes, the sophistication and power of these performances is something to marvel at. So yes, we could all marvel at them because they really are wonderful and first rate. Give Gramophone credit, they were right. Okay, now this is, we've talked about these. This is in the Plaisant box, and I've already mentioned them. These are the three Prix de Rome cantatas from 1903, 02, and 01, or 01, 02, and 03, if you're going in the other order. Alissa, Alcione, and Murha. You know, the Prix de Rome, what the Prix de Rome was, for those of you who don't know, is that in France, every, Paris Conservatory student was supposed to enter the Prix de Rome competition. It was the thing that you did at the end when you were graduating from the conservatory. And the test was to write a cantata on an incredibly dreary, droopy Greek mythological, usually anyway, text, in a dreary and conservative academic style. And then if you won, you were given a stipend and shipped off to the villa, whatever it was called, in Rome, where you were supposed to send back regular examples of your fabulous work from the Prix de Rome. Needless to say, there are practically no great Prix de Rome works. There's some nice ones, don't get me wrong, and no composer who ever went to Rome actually got anything out of it. But and their cantatas haven't really been preserved and aren't worth playing. I mean, this went on for a long time. Berlioz was a Prix de Rome winner, so consider that Ravel is doing this in the early 19th. I don't think he ever won, by the way. I mean, these were the cantatas he wrote, but I don't think any of them ever won. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he never won. And then and Berlioz too. I got it on his third or fourth try, and we still listen to them. Cleopatra and those things that he wrote were Prix de Rome cantatas. It's a French thing. Anyway, there they are with Michel Plaisant. Oh, this is terrific. Jesus Lopez Cobos and the Cincinnati Symphony on Telarc doing Alborada, the Rhapsody Espagnole, the Vals Noble, La Valse, and Bolero. Wonderful performances, really gorgeous recordings. Telarc is, yay, slamming stuff here. And Bernstein. Oh, Bernstein. These are the Orchestre Nationale de France recordings, along with the Daphnis Second Suite is with the New York Philharmonic. But all the other stuff is with the Orchestre Nationale de France, and it is really hot. Oh, the Rhapsody Espagnole is also New York Philharmonic, those two. But you have Bolero, Alborada, and La Valse, and this is as great as it gets. I mean, they are tremendous and very well recorded, too. It was just wonderful. So that's fun to have. Oh, another wonderful disc, Michael Tilson Thomas, who was always wonderful in French music. Really, his Debussy is outstanding. He's one of the great Debussy guys. And this is with the London Symphony. This is going to all be in the big box that's coming, the Michael Tilson Thomas big box. We've got Bolero, the Fanfare, the Complete Mother Goose, the Pièce en forme de habanera, and the Rhapsody Espagnole, Rhapsody Espagnole. That's what it's called. This is very, very good. Totally ignored and neglected and passed over. But that's why I kept it. Georges Pludermacher, pianist, what's he doing? Oh, the two concertos, along with Bolero and La Valse, with the Orchestre Nationale de Lille, Région Nord-Pas-de-Calais. I mean, isn't that a resonant name for an orchestra? Let's say it again. Orchestre Nationale de Lille, Région Nord-Pas-de-Calais. Okay. Under Jean-Claude Cazadessus, and I got all these because why? Because after the demise of the Paris Conservatory Orchestra, some of us in the record universe were in search of that authentic French sound, which we somewhat naively believed would be preserved in the timbres of French provincial orchestras, such as the Orchestre Nationale de Lille, Région Nord-Pas-de-Calais. Well, it was and it wasn't. I mean, you could get some of it, but this was real French stuff. I mean, we thought it was real French stuff, and it says, let's see, Ravel wrote, "Do you not find," well, no, he didn't review this record. There's a quote from him, "that there is something insistent in this theme?" I mean, he's talking about Bolero. These are interesting performances. Are they more authentically French? Well, I can't say that. But I can say that they are different sounding, and they were fun for that reason. Different sounding in a good way, not different to be different. I mean, they're all playing legitimate French music Frenchaliciously. So there you go. And it's on Musique d'Abord, which was a budget label of Harmonia Mundi. There, I don't have to say the damn orchestra again. And last but not least, the complete Ravel piano music with Walter Gieseking, who was known, of course, for his Debussy, but also for his Ravel. These recordings have been surpassed. I don't think he was a Saint-Saëns-François, for example, who could do this stuff even better in many cases. But, he was a master of touch, of sensuous piano tone, and he plays quite beautifully. And these EMI Référence recordings were Référence recordings. So I hang on to them, naturellement. Of course, we have the big Gieseking box now with all this stuff in it too. But this, I think, makes a nice way to end this clump of Ravel's specialities. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.